the only way I can kind of rationalize this is that he's lost so much control in his own life that he thinks that by calling people nerds and by thinking that nerds affects them in any meaningful way, which it doesn't. I don't think anyone's offended by the word nerd at all. And by his own admission, he is a nerd himself. So if it's like a textbook case of projection, obviously. I think that this is some way that he's trying to regain power in his own life. But I don't want an armchair psychiatrist too much, although I will be doing that a bit tonight. And I want to ask you guys' opinion. Do you think something terrible, I think, happened recently? Because when he got on his stream, it was holy shit, it was a shit show. I can only imagine that something really bad just occurred. Some people are saying that Kayla's left, that the divorce arc is happening. Maybe she's just still watching Star Trek. We don't know. I think the most likely situation is that the next 2 days are going to be very interesting because tomorrow, I believe, is Kayla's omnibus hearing. And I think then the next day is April's omnibus hearing. Now, if one of those comes back and they can throw out the search warrant, then of course you could go back and say, well, like if the search warrant was defected for April or for Kayla, then surely mine is too. Now, this was already denied when he didn't get his Frank's motion hearing. We're going to have a look at his appeal for that. The chance of those actually coming out in his favor, very low, like maybe 1%, but it could always happen. But I think that the reality is dawning on him that he has about a month left. November 26th and 27th will be his criminal and his civil case. And at that point, he has to either take a plea, not guilty, or guilty. And at that time, the most likely situation is that the body cam would also come out as well, and everyone's going to be able to see through the veil that he's been trying to put up that I don't think many people believe in. But it's like a no-win situation for him really here. And maybe he's just holding on to the last few days inside the bunker. The sand and the dust is like coming down as the bombs are hitting. And, what can you do but, maybe cope up a bit and just try and live for those fleeting brief moments. But I don't know. What do you think, guys? So let's start, I guess, with the April tweets. And these are really weird. She went on a big tweet spree. This is her first tweet since February 19th. And you can see that they start on October 27th. And I guess she changed her Twitter name because very cringe. But her Twitter handle is April Law. Is she becoming a lawyer? Did she think that the last name, Recator's last name is Recator Law? Maybe she can't get married to him. So she's like, well, I can't marry Nicholas Recator. I'll marry Recator Law. So I'm Mrs. Law. Is she the in-law? It's a weird name for a handle. Because I think all she does is just sit in the corner and then go for woods walks with, I guess, being right takes too long on October 27th. Now, Nick is also tweeting at the same time as he's being trolled by Breaking Bulldog News. He says, "Get lost, nerd." That's the first instance of the nerd. And nerd is very much like Stalker Child, if you've been following the Patrick Tomlinson saga. That's his new favorite word, where he always responds to everyone nerd, and he's blocking everybody, blocking all the A-logs. But in response to that Get Lost nerd, she says, "Thank for your reposting. I lost my notes. I'll make sure to improve on your efforts." So they're kind of working together. It's very strange. Like, I don't like it when couples DM in public. Like, if it's on Facebook or on Twitter, I think keep that shit to your DMs. It's very weird for me because I think you should keep that stuff private. But they seem to be tweeting at each other. Are they in the same room? Are they in the same house? Is she gone? Is she on the loose? Has the ape escape happened? We don't know. We don't know. She did go in the woods, though. And let's see. It says, "I wonder if it ever gets lonely thinking you could live without me." So very vague, very mysterious, very edgy. Well, not edgy, but a bit emo, I should say. And apparently some guy, T-Dog, says, "You don't have to prove anything to anyone, April." And she says, "I agree. Thanks for waiting for me." And now she goes through a lot of these tweets with Nick, and there's a few really strange ones. Like this one that says, from Breaking Bulldog, she responded to. And like I said, this is a bit convoluted to go through all this, but Breaking Bulldog says, in response to, I guess, April, I have to go back a bit. Oh, she says, "Ha ha ha, it's Inception." I guess it was they're both meeting each other, or they're both tweeting each other. Breaking Bulldog said, "Breaking Bulldog News World exclusive. We have evidence of Recator Law using April Law's account." So that was the implication, is that April was using, Nick was using April's account. And some people have suggested he's done this in the past. Maybe she's just aping him, like copying his mannerisms, because Aaron did say on his show that he was, or that she does copy people that she's in a relationship with. But in response to that, I have to go back. Like I said, it's a bit convoluted. April said to him, ha 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 ha, it's Inception. I've come, C-U-M, full circle. Enjoy, everyone. Baldo then said, I've come full circle, April. Did a little of Ricada Law's classic humor slip in there since you've been supporting his or supplanting his wife? Or was that a Freudian slip from the Baldo behind the keyboard? And to that is what she responded, saying, yes, I finally came for once in my life. So throwing a bit of shade on Aaron. But there's a funny thing in here. There's a funny thing in here where I want to scroll up to see it. There was people were suggesting that it was Nick using her account. So then she had to come out and post this photo of herself. Now the weird thing about this is I believe it was posted in AM in the morning or something, and people zoomed in on the clock and they're like, well, this is from obviously lunchtime on the 25th. So is this just a safe photo? Who can say? Who can say? Maybe she just wanted to go through her camera roll. Slur says, Rackets thinks this makes him look cool, but it's just embarrassing because he's gloating about ruining his family and marriage for a 5 out of 10. And depending on how you look on how bad the infection is, take 1 point off from there. And then they posted the picture of the house. Of course, we did the house tour, which was amazing. And they have the Summer's Eve Spa calming, luscious watch for balancing pH. But yes, the smelly vagina arc that we got when we did the house tour. The house tour. That was probably my favorite little arc in this entire story. I don't think we'll be seeing something as crazy as that again, unless the body cam does come out soon. But who can say? Who can say? So someone said, forgive a past lover today, ape. And then she says, posting a picture of Aaron sitting in I guess a Crown Royal seat with a little drink in his hand, maybe a Negroni or something, who can say? Says, I forgive this man. Even if some of the things he does is really shitty, I still understand the good parts of him and hate the others. He's a human being and I forgive him. Aaron Eamholt, I forgive you. But that doesn't mean I won't have fun at your expense. I know you love a good bit. Is the Aaron comeback arc is she going back to Aaron? Is she daydreaming about the past days? I don't know. This is a bit weird. If Nick stole your wife, basically, and this guy has a show every day where he talks about his life. I don't know if Nick's going to be too happy posting these pictures of Aaron. I guess what can you say? But it's another win for the toe. Now here we go. Nick said, "Let the music play. He won't get away." And then April responds, "Just keep the groove, and then he'll come back to you again." Posting song lyrics at each other. Very, very cute. Very adorable. Young love. Now that they've gotten rid of the Star Trek enjoyer, I suppose. But let me see. Dan Host Nice Podcast Stupid said, I've always found you prettier, smarter, and cooler than Kayla. Oh, no. I hope you get everything you want. Team April. April responds, she's still pretty. She is still smart, and she is still cool. One is not better than the other, but we do need to love ourselves and our partners, not just the idea of them. What does she mean by that? They're partners? Is she talking about Nick or is she talking about Aaron? Surely it'd be about Nick. Now, there's another one where they bring up the cover, which I still don't understand the meaning of the word cover. Someone tried to explain it to me, I think, but I'm not sure if anyone really knows. Now, allegedly, it was made up by Kayla. And at some point, April in these tweets goes over and says that she hates the name. It was a stupid name, and she's glad she doesn't have to use it anymore. Which, again, is another piece of evidence suggesting that maybe Kayla has disappeared. It's kind of hard to keep track of all these women names. 2 is definitely too many women in a relationship. Let me see. Lorcata said, the thing about me, I'd find a way to have fun in prison. You can't have fun anywhere because you're a nerd. Get beat up and stuffed in a locker, you fucking nerd. This is a very strange comment from a man that said that Aaron could beat him up. And a very skinny, very frail, 160 pounds, wet. Very embarrassing. Like the idea of him stuffing anyone in the locker is just ridiculous. He got stood on at Anime Matsuri by weeb women. Ricada household alert is evidently clear from many instances of omission throughout last night. Kayla Ricada is not in the good graces of Ricada Law in April. Oh no. They openly admit to the polycule, something that would deeply embarrass the religious Kayla Ricada. Anyone asking about her well-being are insulted and banned by Ricada Law. And last but not least, last night on Nick's local stream, he struggled to talk about the bracelet Kayla had given him, stopping himself, we believe, from talking about an anniversary gift. Instead, to state that it's complicated. But in response to that, she said, if you've never actually read the stories of the Bible, you'd see what you were wrong about here. It wouldn't take too long, but maybe you're bad at reading and comprehension. Well, I certainly am. So I know what it's like. Now, a lot of these posts, looks like some posts she responded to were being deleted, but she goes into a lot of details. Basically said she hated the name and she's glad that she doesn't have to say that she's part of the cover anymore. And that would imply that there's only 2 people in the relationship, which seems a bit strange. Anyway, let's see. If we jump over to Nick's timeline. Okay, so this is where it starts for Nick as well. She was having by the way, because we haven't talked about Nick for about a month or it's like 3-4 weeks, something like that. About a month. I think October 9th or something was the last time we did. He got into a fight with Brianna Wu. He got absolutely destroyed by Brianna Wu, who, if you don't know, is a bit of a lunatic in herself. But anyway, so since she came back from that, he decided to come back and block Breaking Baldo News when he talked about the files. We're going to go through the files. I think the order is Twitter, files, and then the video stuff. That's probably what the show will be today. Now, let's see. Oh, look at this one. So Kobe Lee was saying, and I think it was in response to this photo. So April posted on Instagram, legitimately lost in the woods right now and can't find my way home. I'm inclined not to care. So some people were concerned about this, that maybe she was going out to look for poor Mama JF. But some people said that they were concerned about her well-being and maybe they should contact for a wellness check. Now, in response to that, Nick said, pay attention to your own life. God, you people are so embarrassing. Get cancer. Look, you got to be careful with the comment, get cancer. It didn't work out very well for TB. God rest his soul. I miss TB. Total biscuit. Great guy. Great guy. Did a lot for the StarCraft community. Let's see. Someone said, lol could have told you that during the depth trial. I think this is in regards to, oh yeah, there's a whole sorry, there's a lot of fun little memes I'm discovering here. So this is Get Lost Nerd. Someone posted this one, the denied motion. You're blocked. And then there's Lamol Cuck. And then Nick said, I'm blocking nerds because I'm tired of being barked at by fucking nerds. Only cool people get to talk to me. If you get blocked, it'll probably just remind you of growing up. Okay? That's a weird thing to say. And then he says, tag fucking nerds all you want. And then someone said, at the legal mindset, Nick Cater, because Andrew blocked Nick a couple weeks ago. And Nick said that he was blocking him. So interesting how the worm has turned. So this is all, this is in regards to Andrew. And he has a bit of a seed at Andrew later that we'll check out. He says, oh my God, what did you hang out with that fool? He was always so cringe. It's even worse because he thinks he's cool, but he's a massive dork. So we see a lot of projection here. And then he says, lol, could have told you that during the depth trial. And that's where we got to. And he says, it's funny because deep down, he knows he's still a loser, just like when he had to run away to another country. I guess because Andrew moves around the world. One of the most dishonest people on LordTube. How's his Ladyboy Luncheon channel going? All right, that is funny. Nick does say funny things from time to time. Ladyboy Luncheon channel. Holy shit. Andrew's doing very well. I can only assume that this is pure sour grapes and jealousy, because I think that the last time I saw Andrew's channel, which I see it every couple of days, right? He usually gets like 2,000-3,000 live viewers concurrent, kind of what Ricada was getting before his decline. So basically, Andrew is where Nick was, and he's only growing. Now, the VTuber stuff, not necessarily for me, but he's doing very well, very successful, and a lot of growth, unlike Nick's channel. His local stream was to about 80 people, by the way, and 70 of them were A-logs, so it's a little bit embarrassing. He really lucked out on getting those locals yearly subscriptions, because he would have lost a lot of local supporters if he didn't charge them up front. But Ladyboy Luncheon channel is pretty funny, though, I have to admit. Let me see. But interestingly enough, someone posted this picture of Nick from his Twitch Thought stream. This is when he did, I think it was a celebratory stream for like 5,000 or 10,000 subscribers on Twitch. He did a thought stream where he dressed up in a Sailor Moon t-shirt with fairy lights, stuffed plushies, hot pants, and thigh-high socks. And it was a joke. Like, it was like imitating a Twitch streamer that was making fun of people for not donating enough. They'd be saying, like, you can't give $1 fucking dollar. Like, why don't you go work in minimum wage or something? But this is a very funny and cool joke, according to Nick. As you can see, he says, yeah, get lost, you fucking nerd. Learn to have a little fun in your life and tell a joke or two. Now, Nick is a very, very good joke observer. This is going to come back as we go through these tweets. Let's see. Rantman says, Ricada Law have fun in prison. Nick responds, the thing about me is I'll find a way to have fun in prison. I'm sure he would have a lot of fun in prison. There is a lot of replacement Baldo options in there in the prison, as I understand it. Let me see. We might need to do a wellness check on Lady Racket. Sounds like these two are up to something. Mind your own business, you worthless trash heap. Now, this is, again, happening concurrently with the April tweets, but people started to really wonder about this, and to the point where, allegedly, now here we go. Okay, April, this is getting too crazy, and this is in regard to the out in the woods thing. Says, okay, April, I think this is getting too crazy. Nick has clearly cut you off from the rest of the world. No one has heard from Kayla. I'm on the phone right now with Wilmar PD, so don't get freaked out if they call or try to show up. So Nick says, you are scum. Get fucked. Leave us alone, you ugly pile of trash. It's television. You have no interest in any of us. You are not here to save us. You are disgusting. Then Kobe Lee responded saying, people in April's lives are worried about her. Her family is worried about her. They, I guess they mean the officer felt assured me that he'll be both seeing Nick and April real soon. And then he says, this called the fucking police over someone's tweets. I hope he gets ass cancer and dies. Now, Officer Felt is a real name. Jim Felt was one of the officers that was in the arrest of Nikita. Very funny, meme magic actually happening. Hard to believe, but true. Now, the funny thing is, Kobe Lee says it was all a joke. So Nick usually can usually, detect jokes anytime, but this apparently was all just a funny and weird, perhaps weird joke. But Nick took it very seriously. So maybe the cops did show up, or maybe someone actually called. Who can say? Who can say? It wouldn't surprise me if there was people out there that were generally very concerned, because it is October, and like this time last year, Mama JF went missing. So it's not outside the realm of possibility. Look, the sector is a dangerous place to be. Coach Red Pill, dead, and now he's a monument in Russia.